What's going on, everybody? Here we are again, another Wednesday evening. Ready to talk some Canes football. Lots happened since our last show, so let's dive right in. If you saw in the description, we will have a guest here in a little bit. We're going to have Jazz Santana from Five Reasons Sports. He has a show on that YouTube channel called The Sixth Ring. Is it called the Sixth Ring Show? I believe it's what it's called. Let me get that right. Yeah, The Sixth Ring. So he's going to be on with us probably like around 7:15. And Max, what's going on? So yeah, we're going to talk some what's been happening lately, like the fact that we got a couple of big commits since the last time we were here. That was over the weekend during the visits. Randy, what's up? Javier, it's cool because I don't know if I'm sure a lot of you guys were listening on Sunday with me and Flo, but we had our little shindig on Saturday night at Bo Campers, and we got to meet a few of you guys. Javier was one of them. Javier is a funny dude, by the way. Let me tell you, he was cool to hang out with. Great stories. Knows his Canes football. So it's kind of cool. I know some of you guys in person now, besides just Max. Did Wesley commit yet? Nope, not that I know of. If Wesley committed, believe me, I would have known. I would have heard something. Flo would have blown up my phone. Yes, Max. Good show last night. I caught some of it, not all of it. I'm going to have to rewatch Squad that thing. Let's see. Chugmo Beer. You families got Canes block. Thank you, man. Always appreciated. I'm like 2 away from like 800, so maybe I'll hit that tonight. Let's see. The intro music sounds like, thanks, I guess. Max, thanks, fam, was filming the way. Wouldn't have known it from what I heard. So, all right. So let's dive right in. We did have a couple of big commits. Now, according to Brad on Mark Rogers on Saturday, we really had 3 commitments. Just 2 have announced officially. The third has not announced yet. We're not sure who that is. So still waiting on that. I know people who probably know who it is, but we don't want to blow up the dude's moment. Let's let him announce that it's himself, because that's a big moment for the kid, But 2 have announced officially. The first one, Kamari Rogers. He is a blue chip elite corner, one of the best corners in the nation. I think he's rated number 9 overall on 24/7. And he's rated the number 1 or number 2 overall player in the state of Mississippi. That is a blue chip elite prospect. It would not shock me one bit if he ends up being a 5-star recruit by the end of the year. But you know how it is. Committing to Miami tends to hurt players' rankings, so you never know. Main event, what's going on? What's up, man? What's up, John? How we doing? I'm doing good, man. Wednesday night, doing one of my favorite things. Talking some Canes football. Whole Louisiana squad is coming to Paradise Camp now. Good. It'll be cool if we just kind of lock down that state this year. I mean, obviously I want to lock down the state of Florida, but this is kind of a weird year. But if we can get a bunch of those Louisiana prospects, that'd be sick. So yeah, Kamari Rogers, he is a dude that has 10 plus players from Louisiana. Louisiana is no joke, man. They're like, I still think Florida is number 1, like as far as producing future like college elite prospects and NFL prospects. I still think Florida's number 1. They're probably going to be number 1 for the foreseeable future. But states like Louisiana, Georgia, Texas, they've closed the gap quite a bit. You can find some amazing players there. Yes, there's this JUCO. There is a JUCO D tackle that I was hearing about today. Yeah, I would listen. I'm never opposed to adding talent and adding depth to this team, especially in the trenches. You always need that because those guys are always getting nicked up. But what was I saying? So Kamari Rogers, this dude has. If you have not treated yourself to his tape, go to his huddle, watch his tape. I believe it's on his Twitter account. Click on that. You'll see he has amazing ball skills, which we have not seen in a Miami corner in a long time. So that's welcome. I believe he's 5'11", 6 feet, but listed only at like 155 pounds. But I really don't believe that that's updated. That's probably from like a year ago. He looks closer to like 165, 168, something like that. And he's going to put on weight. Remember, he's got a whole other year of high school, a whole off season before his freshman year to put on weight. People got concerned about that. Don't worry about that. We got a good one in Kamari Rogers. Believe me, we got a nasty player. The other one is Landon Ibieta, who we gushed about on the Flow show on Sunday. And if you saw it, we had him on. We got to talk to him a little bit. Really cool kid, really mature. Sorry, not kid, young man. Shout out to Wholesome. Great young man. He answered a bunch of questions for us. He seems like a really hardworking dude. He seems serious about his commitment, and really look forward to having him on this team. He is, he's another one. If you look at his tape, very underrated because he's listed as like, I forgot where he's ranked at wide receiver. But I think he's like the 690th overall player in the country. This dude is going to fly up those rankings. Trust me, because now that he committed to Miami, all the bigger schools, the Alabamas, the LSUs are going to come knocking. Hey, why don't you come do a little workout for a Coach Saban up in Tuscaloosa? You know, those phone calls start happening, it drives your ranking up. I really don't think it should be that way. I think it should be more based on what you do on the field, your tape, the competition you're going against. Height and weight, you know, that does play some factor, but it should be your tape more than anything. And this dude's tape is, I would say, I don't throw the word elite around too often. Like, I don't just throw it around willy-nilly, but this dude is about as close to elite as you can get. I wouldn't say he's a 5-star caliber wide receiver, but he is damn close. Technique-wise, amazing route runner, runs a 4.51 from what I hear. I think that's a laser time, so those tend to be a little higher. The fact that he told Saban no is really cool. Yep. Yeah, if you caught there was a screen grab of an article, or, you know, I don't know if you read the article or caught the screen grab that was going around Twitter, but apparently Saban came calling right after he committed to Miami and pretty much told Saban, when I commit, that means I'm committed. All right, so that's great. For many reasons, I'm happy we got this dude. He's a great guy to have in our locker room. And he's a playmaker. Again, look at that tape if you have not already. Kane forever. What's going on, man? Singletary is at OSU this weekend. Hope it goes terrible. Me too, man. I hope they get rained on. I hope like whatever can go wrong goes wrong on that trip. I'm partially kidding. No, I hope he has a great time on the trip, but I still hope he chooses Miami. Jaheim Singletary is, if you don't know, is the number one or one of the top 3 corners in the country. He was committed or a heavy Ohio State lean and is now kind of leaning towards Miami from what I'm hearing. His interest in Miami has really gone up. We've made an impression on him. And adding him would be amazing. It would be like adding another Tyreek Stevenson, maybe even better than that. So imagine having 2 5-star corners on this roster. Plus Kamari Rogers, plus whoever we get between Spells, Fagans, Chris Graves. We're going to get at least one of those 3 guys, maybe 2. Who knows? This is going to be a huge cornerback haul. Let me go back to that. Should be a great weekend. I think we get 2 commits. I was just thinking about that. I think we get 2 commits as well. And if you go all the way to, let's see here. I'm going to pull it up the announcement list that I have here. Okay, so we got Chris Graves announcing on July 9th and Horton and Spells announcing July 4th. So these are after Paradise Camp weekend. I think by the end of that weekend, count Paradise Camp and count that, I think we'll have like 4. So that would break the mark that I set for them a few weeks ago, because I thought they would have 6 total by then. They might have like 8. So looking forward to that. But yeah, I think by the end of this weekend, I think 2 is a good number. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yes, Orlando Canes early. Shit, hilarious. Bama wants him to work out, and Edo spamming his phone. Oh, yeah, that is a joke because he worked out for Edo already, from what I understand. And now he's interested? I don't know. Little sketchy. Bama's loaded at linebacker. Literally probably the best, deepest in the country. Meanwhile, Miami, it's our weakest link. Freaking bums me out, and I realize we're not beating Bama. Ho-hum. Listen, it's going to be an uphill battle against Bama. However, I haven't given up all hope. Like you all, I'm still going to watch the game. And listen, upsets happen. That's all I'm going to say. What's up, Canes family? Checking in from ATO. Nice. Oh, so Tony, are you going to the game? Because he is right where the game is happening at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, which I have been to that stadium. It is beautiful. Please, Mr. Singletary, give the U an early Christmas gift and be a Cane. Oof, man. Again, like I said, if we get him, Rogers, Spells, and any combination of Graves, Fagans, or Graves and Fagans, any combination of those, I'm good. That's a hell of a haul. Main event, how you feeling about Spells? Are we still good? I'm feeling 50-50 on Spells, to be honest. Gun to my head right now, what I say, is he a Cane? Probably. I would say probably. Our biggest competition right now is West Virginia. I mean, they got good recruiters up there. I'm not going to lie. I think the biggest thing they can offer him, though, is early playing time. Honestly, I'm trying to think as far as facilities and all that stuff. I don't know if maybe his family wants him to go away. Sometimes you have that situation. Mom wants you to go away or stay home. So that does play a factor. I don't remember if Spells is one of those. My guest, ladies and gentlemen, has arrived. Let's add him in. Jazz, what's going on, man?
What's up, my dude? How you doing, John?
Good, man, good. Fighting that traffic?
Dude, it was crazy, man. I drive all the way from Aventura to Coral Gables every day, so it's rough, man. It's rough.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm also in Coral Gables. I'm down the street from you.
Nice. Yeah, man. Yeah. So we're neighbors. It's awesome. Yeah, the traffic was horrendous today too. So
I'm looking outside and seeing the rain. So I don't envy you.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So for those who don't know, I'm sure a lot of the people in the chat do know you. But tell them really quick who you are, about your show on YouTube, and that you're part of 5 Reasons Sports and all that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so I host a show, part of the 5 Reasons Sports Network, like you mentioned, called the 6 Ring Canes show. We kind of, do what a lot of us do, right? Part of the YouTube network as well, and do a lot of things with Miami Hurricanes football. And it's every Thursday night, so we'll be on tomorrow night also at 7:30. And we just talk Canes, man. Just talk Canes football, Canes everything. So pretty excited about it, especially now coming up with with this big weekend with Paradise Camp coming up. So I know we got a lot to dive into on that, but it's just exciting, man. So yeah, I do that, and I do a couple other things on 5 Reasons Sports as well with the Miami Dolphins and the Heat and whatnot. So again, thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you coming on, man, because I've seen your stuff and I really like it. And you're also a Miami guy, so I'm also like a diehard Heat, Dolphin, Marlins, like across the board. I was born and raised here in Miami, so
absolutely, man. Yeah, same here, man.
So there was a question on my screen right as you were coming on. I was answering for main event here. How are you feeling about Spells? This is where I thought he was a lock just 2 weeks ago, but then West Virginia got on his radar. I'm thinking we're 50-50 with Spells. I'm curious. What do you think? What's your gut feeling on him?
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got him when it comes to all the edits that we do for him. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
if edits play anything into this recruiting battle, then we've got him. No, I mean, look, anything could happen, man. Recruiting is crazy, especially with these 17 and 18-year-old kids that, obviously you see what we're experiencing now with another one of our commits. And it's just, it's crazy, man. It's a whirlwind. What do I think? I mean, I love him. I think he's very talented, fast, speedy guy. We love that speed, especially at that position in the secondary. Look, for me, a big thing is getting back to the days when we can recruit, corners. Forget about our safeties. Right now, we're locked and loaded there. So I'm happy what we're doing at the safety position, but at the cornerback position, the athlete position, when you get guys like that, coming down and playing for Miami, that's when Miami is starting to get back into the swing of things and have a legitimate shot at contending for a playoff spot and all that as well. So I'm excited to see if we land them. Definitely 50-50, especially now with West Virginia making a push also.
Yeah. No, that corner position is so important. As loaded as we are at safety, I feel like the Dolphins, I always use them as an example. Their defense was so elite last year because they had 2 lockdown corners.
Yep.
When you have 2 lockdown corners, you give that D-line, that pass rush, a lot of time to do what they need to do.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. And and vice versa. And then what do you got when you got lockdown corners? You got the quarterbacks being more hesitant to throw. And that creates, more plays on the line as well. So, yeah, definitely. I hope we get him. I mean, that would be a huge grab with him. Some of the other guys that we have that we're looking at, like Nick Cole and some of the other guys. So I'm excited to see what happens. But would be a great get for the Miami Hurricanes. Absolutely.
For sure, man. So you did mention the whole situation with a current certain commit we have. I'm not blowing up his name here because we all know who it is because it's been going. There was a whole Twitter war about it between Canes fans the last couple of days, and that would be Quan Lee. He basically shut down his recruitment and put an edit up about it and everything, and we were all happy to see that. But then he takes a visit to UCF, which guys have committed in the past and taken visits after their commitment before. It's we're no strangers to that. We've seen it. What caused the ruckus with this one? Like, what was the drama? Was it because he said he was, no, I'm locking down my recruitment and I'm going to Miami, and then like the next day, like what was it that you think caused the drama here?
I mean, it could be a few things, right? Number one, and I know we've talked about this a lot ad nauseum too, but it is what it is. Like, one of them could be that it all got to his head, right? And then he's got a lot of people talking in his ear and chirping and blowing smoke up his what, and that gets to kids like that, right? So when other schools come calling and they kind of, for lack of a better expression, drop their pants for you, you're gonna listen, right? You're gonna be like, oh wow, okay, hold on a second, now I might have spoke too soon, right? So that's one of the things that could have happened. Another one, I guess, is also maybe Canes coaches kind of let them know, hey, look at your other options, right? Don't be afraid to go out there and look at other schools, because maybe now the Isaiah Hortons of the world and the Jayden Browns of the world and those guys and anybody else that we have out there that might be ranked just a little bit higher. Maybe the whole issue with Landon Ibieta, how we went after him so hard, kind of left a sour taste in his mouth. Again, how these kids are, right? That could have kind of triggered him to do this and kind of act up a little bit and take offense to it per se. I don't know what exactly the issue is. You never know what's going on in the heads of these recruits, man, especially after they after they commit, and then they get kind of big headed about it. And it happens with everybody. I know, when I was being recruited out of high school, not for football, but, for baseball, you start getting calls from all these different schools and letters from all these different schools. And then you want to commit to one, and you do commit to one, but then all of a sudden everybody else starts jumping on board. It can kind of throw you off, and it can kind of really mess with your mind. So, it could be a lot of things, but look, I'm all for taking your visits. I'm all for, doing all of that, but it's just in the way that he did it, right? It's the way in how he, started talking, trash on Twitter and all the tweets that he put out, and then you got Xavier Restrepo kind of coming back at him and telling him what's up, and and you like to see that from our players now. You can see the culture that they're trying to build at Miami now, but I don't know what's going to happen with the kid now. Or is he going to get dropped? Is the fact that the coaches may have told him to take a look at other schools, could that affect What happens with him, who knows? But he's great. He's talented. He talks a lot, but he backs it up. If you see his tape, the kid can play. So would it kind of suck to lose out on a guy like that? Absolutely. But when you got kids like Landon Ibieta and some of these other guys that they are recruiting, I think the future is still bright at the wide receiver position for Miami.
Oh yeah, I think the good thing is they got options. What I love about Quan is that he definitely plays with a chip on his shoulder, which is something we've been missing. So I'd love to have him, but I love the way Manny's playing it. Is like, well, it's fine if you're taking visits, but just know we're not going to hold down your spot if you're taking visits. We're at a certain point we are going to look elsewhere too.
Right, and I think that's what Manny and the staff says. Right, if you say you're going to shut it down, awesome, great. But if you say if you're gonna look, then we're gonna look also. And it's not a knock on any of the kids, but it is what it is, right? And that's what all the big schools do. If you're gonna keep looking, we're gonna keep looking. Bottom line. So I get it.
Yeah. Let's answer Randy's question here. Does call mean no Wilson? I know this question came up on me and Flo's show on Sunday. I don't think it means no Wilson. I think we could possibly get both. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think it means no Wilson. I think that if you can take both of them, Kamari Wilson is an absolute beast, and Cole is kind of an under the radar kid right now still, not being highly recruited by too many people. I think that now his recruiting will start to kind of heat up. I feel like you're going to see the same thing that happened with Ibieta happen with Nick Cole. Also, is he's going to start to show out and play really well in a lot of these 7-on-7s and all that, and people are going to start saying, "Well, who is this kid?" And so, but if I'm Miami, I'm not turning away any big time cornerback. I don't care if it's Kamari Wilson, if it's Singletary, if it's Nick Cole, for one or the other. No, take them all, man.
Absolutely. No, I'm never opposed to adding talent to our roster.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah. No, and honestly, I think the way most players are today, they're going to come, like, for example, defensive tackle. We got Leonard Taylor on board already. That's more enticing for a guy like Bear Alexander. Like, oh, I could play alongside that dude?
Oh, yeah.
Whereas maybe before in years past, they kind of wanted D-tackle to them. They kind of wanted to shine. But I think guys are getting smarter now. Look at Alabama, how loaded they are at receiver every year.
And not only that, look, at the end of the day, kids are going to transfer out. There's going to be a lot of movement. There always is every year. Get as many guys as you can. Recruit the best of the best of the best and have them, compete, right? It's all about competition. Obviously, I know we always say this. It's, Miami was at its best when it had, Portis and Gore, McGahee and Davenport and all these guys in one backfield, or all these receivers in that room and the battle at quarterback and line and everywhere, right? And some guys stuck it out and waited their turn, and some guys are going to leave. So you got to go after the best of the best at all times, and if you can get them all, then you're number one, you're going to build depth. Number two, you're going to have attrition is going to happen. So the other guys are going to get more playing time. You're going to be able to and okay, so here's the other thing, right? You've got the coaches in place now to develop a lot of these guys also, whereas you had, the Tracy Howards of the world who never kind of, I don't want to say lived up to his potential, but kind of really didn't, right? So now you've got a guy in T-Rob and even DeMarcus Van Dyke, who I love, coming in and developing these guys. So I think that players are going to see that also, and they're going to see, hey, I don't care if you have 2 or 3 cornerbacks committed. I get a chance to be coached up by Tavares Robinson and by this whole entire defensive staff. Yeah, I'm all in, and that's plays a huge difference in the recruiting game.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that DVD is finally getting his due, because he wasn't before, like even just 6 months ago, 8 months ago. Then you start finding out who was behind a lot of these acquisitions the last couple of years. So the right guy's definitely in place. But we definitely got to touch on Paradise Camp, because we got that coming up this weekend. I know you're going to be covering it. So what can we expect? Any surprises you think from Paradise Camp? Do you think we can expect? I'm expecting we'll probably get a couple of commits by the end of the weekend. I don't know, but again, this is very unpredictable. But Are you expecting any surprises?
Surprises? Well, I mean, I was looking over the list. I mean, I can't even keep up with how many guys are coming to this thing. It's unbelievable. I'm actually looking at it right here with all, and it's just surprises. There's always, I don't even know, man. I mean, definitely I can see a surprise or two, and not only committing, right? Not a surprise commit, but maybe surprise visitors that maybe we don't know about yet. It's still early. It's Wednesday, right? You got all these kids that switch their plans the night before, and then they fly in, and Shamar Stewart would be someone that maybe that guy decides, hey, I'm going to come back and I'm going to pull the trigger. I don't know. Bear Alexander, is he even coming? Is he coming again this weekend? I'm not even sure if he is.
Not that I know of as of right now. I know he announced he's taking a visit to USC, but I'm not sure if that's this weekend necessarily.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
I will tell you this. I want to see the most important. I'll give you a couple of players that I really want to see how they play, and I'll be there. By the way, I will be at Paradise Camp, and hopefully I can give you guys some updates on what's going on. But the linebacker position, man. I mean, that right now that's where we're struggling the most. Right, is the linebackers. And look, Michael just said it right there, right? Michael, like, we need more linebackers and defensive linemen. Defensive linemen. Look, we gotta replace the big three that left, right? Roche, Phillips, Russo, those guys. We got to replace those guys. Can DeAndre Johnson and Jafari Harvey and Chance Williams and those guys, and even Zach McLeod to some extent, do it. I don't know if they're going to have the production that those guys did, but maybe all together they can come together and be pretty productive. But the linebacker position for me, man, Demario Tolan, Devin Jackson, Wesley Bassane, those guys and more, right? Someone mentioned, do we take all three linebackers if they want in? First of all, yes. I mean, obviously, but number two, why not take 4 guys? Why not take 5 guys?
Right.
I mean, the linebacker position is somewhere where right now we've struggled recently in recruiting. Just from an overall perspective, Sam Brooks is a fine player, and Corey Flagg is obviously our best guy, and some of the other guys that are there, Avery Huff. But we need those big time 4-star, 5-star linebackers that are true middle linebackers, true outside guys, not a striker, not someone that. No, I need a true linebacker that's going to go out there and and take your head off and cover a tight end coming out, of the backfield, whatever it is, man. I need those guys, and I think that just taking 3, it'll be great if you could take those 3, but take some more if you can, right? I mean, I don't know, man. I'm all for looking at those linebackers, seeing how they play, how they perform, and hopefully we get 1 or 2. I would hope that maybe Wesley decides to commit this weekend. That would be awesome.
Yeah, Les just said what I was thinking. Do we have a shot for Jackson? I think
it's down to us in Arizona State, right?
That's what I've been hearing, and Arizona State has their issues right now. So
exactly. If they have issues over there, then that only plays in our favor. So yeah, we definitely have a shot with Jackson.
I think so too. This year we use a transfer portal for linebacker. I mean, Manny has come out and said that he's betting on the guys he's got. I don't totally believe that. I don't know about you, Jazz. I think if the right guy pops up in the portal, he's grabbing him. So. Yeah. I think we'll recruit 2 or 3 high school guys and then maybe a 3rd or 4th portal guy.
Yeah, I don't know if at this point he'll go after someone for this year, but he could very well. There's still some guys out there that haven't committed elsewhere that I know that might be a good fit here, but who knows? Definitely got to get those young guys though. Definitely got to get the Basaints of the world, the Devin Jacksons and Tolan and those guys. So, but. I wanted to mention one more guy that I really want to see. Is not a lot of the I guess the everyday regular Canes fans would know about because he's a young guy. But if there's any bit of a surprise this weekend, it might be a commitment from a young quarterback, and that guy is Colin Hurley. If you see Colin Hurley's tape, he's a 2025 kid, and maybe you're not, people are not thinking about 2025, but this is a 2025 kid like you've never seen before, is Colin Hurley. And you can ask guys like Max and Brad. I know that Brad builds him up a lot, and I've seen the tape, man, and it's well worth it. That's the kind of kid that if he's already got an offer from FSU and some other places, if Miami gives him an offer this weekend after his performance in Paradise Camp, I can see him pulling the trigger and committing to Miami.
Oh, I saw Colin Hurley's tape, and because you said 2025, that would mean he's entering high school in the fall.
Right.
So he just graduated from 8th grade.
He's a 13-year-old kid. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
13-year-old kid. If you look at his tape, I thought I was looking at a junior in high school.
Yeah.
If you look at him physically,
maybe even a college freshman. I mean, he's that well built. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I would be shocked if they don't offer him. I'm surprised they haven't yet, but I'll be shocked if they don't. Let's see. Max is saying something. We should agree for that to happen. All right. Many of the big names on our board are waiting to see how our season goes. That's a good point. That's good and bad. I think that's good, honestly, because I'm confident that we're going to get at least those 9 wins.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I think if we're 9-3, you could still compete for the Coastal, because I'm not buying this whole thing that UNC is just going to go 11-1. People are just assuming that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They lost too many players for my taste. They lost too many guys. They lost their running backs who ran for 8,000 yards against us. They lost those guys. They lost their wide receivers, right? Diami Brown and the other cat. I can't remember his name now. But they lost a lot of guys. So did they have a good recruiting cast? Yeah, and Sam Howell is still there, who's a legitimate, early pick in the draft. But he's got to have guys to throw it to and hand the ball off to. So I don't know if those guys can replace them just yet. It'll be interesting to see, but I don't think they're going to run away with it. I absolutely think that our depth and our talent right now can compete with them, and to a certain extent, Clemson as well. So I'm excited to see them. For sure.
We take care of business. We'll land the big guys, because I've been saying for years, 7-6 is not going to get you Joey Bosa in our backyard. It's like with the guys we are getting, you can win 9 games. You can occasionally win 10 games, and then that'll eventually get you the Amari Coopers and the Joey Bosas.
Absolutely. It's about development, man. It's at this point, it's about development. It's not even about the talent, because I think we're getting the talent. It's about developing these guys, because I've said this a lot in my shows. Talent down here, especially in South Florida, they don't really get coached up, and that's not a knock on some of the great coaches down here in South Florida, but a lot of these guys play on pure talent. They're faster, they're stronger than the guy lining up across from them, right? So they can beat them one-on-one any given day, all the time. It's about being coached up, because once you get to the ACC, once you start playing that schedule, once you start playing college football, it's a completely different game. The game is a lot faster. Everybody is your size. Everybody is as strong as you. Now you got to beat them in other ways, right? And that's where the coaching comes in. And if you can get coached up, being a kid from South Florida, that's gonna be wild for Miami. I think 10 wins is gonna be easy, right? I think at this point it's Alabama, and then everybody wants to run the table, and I get it. We always kind of trip over ourselves, but yeah, I can definitely see that. And you're right, John. A lot of the big name players are gonna wait a little bit. But a lot of the big name players are going to pull the trigger quick too, man. So, don't wait too long, because then you're going to lose out on an opportunity to play. And if we do go 10-2 or 11-1 or whatever the case is, and you're left on the outside looking in, although I don't think Miami has that problem. We got 2 recruits right now, or 3 recruits. So I think we're 4. 4. Okay, 4
officially on board.
There you go. So I think we're okay. We're okay with that. We still got time, so we'll be all right.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think there's going to be a group of guys that they want to jump on their spot now. They don't want to lose it. But then there's going to be those guys that, the Julian Armellas, for example, they know they have a spot no matter what, so they can wait. I wanted to ask you, before I forget, because you were talking about the linebackers. After we got that class of 3 guys that started when they were freshmen, McLeod, Pinckney, and Quarterman, it seemed like the years after, it was like, well, we got Sam Brooks and Avery Huff, and that was like it. We barely even recruited the position.
Yeah, Corey Flagg, Tyreek Austin Cave, and that was about it, right?
And that was towards the end. There was a couple years there that we barely had. DeAndre Wilder, we got 1 year, but that didn't pan out.
Nope.
Why did it seem like, because obviously those 3 guys that were starting, they're going to leave at the same time, so you got to build depth behind them. Why was Manny and a combination of Rick also, why were they just kind of neglecting that position, do you think?
It's weird. I don't know if it was a matter of neglecting. I just think they did a bad job. Bottom line, I think they did a bad job of recruiting that position. And it's also a mix of that and some of the bigger guys just went elsewhere, and that's the problem, right? You got to do a better job of recruiting, like the Justin Flows of the world, and some of the other kids that ended up going out of state or to Gainesville or to Tallahassee or even to UCF, right? You got to keep those guys local here, and they just didn't do a good job of it for one reason or another. I don't know, man. That's a great question because you see other teams that went 7-4 or 8-4 and got some big time talent at linebacker. I think that maybe they just recruited. They didn't scout properly. They didn't recruit the right guys, and that's how you end up with lack of depth and talent at that position.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone see the I don't know if you watch Footballville, but I think he had Sean Spence on recently.
Oh, nice. No, I missed it.
I've been meaning to watch it. Sean Spence, that's the kind of guy we need in this. Can you imagine him? Just plug him into this linebacking core.
That would be awesome. See, yeah, I mean, I don't care how big or how small Sean Spence was. That guy was just he was a great player. You need guys like that. Yeah, up here, absolutely.
Very smart. I remember his first, well, it wasn't his first game because they played Charleston Southern first, but in 2008, remember when they played Florida? He had that sack on Tim Tebow.
On Tim Tebow, yeah.
He was rolling out. He grabbed him by his shoulder pad and just threw him to the ground. Yeah, it was beautiful.
That was the only bright spot of that game, right?
Well, that and Matt Bosher suplexing their returner. I remember that too. No, it was like 9-3 in the fourth quarter. That was a game, but Patrick Nix didn't feel like trying to score. So
Patrick Nix, Jesus, wow,
yeah,
unbelievable. Miami Flow, that's my dude right there. I got you, man.
Love that dude. Usually he's on his way home from work right now, so he's probably listening in the car. If you guys haven't, he does this thing called Miami Flow Motion on his channel. So when he's driving between like gigs, he's just on the phone talking. It's pretty good, man.
That's awesome.
But yeah, man,
he's a trip.
So I want to be respectful of your time. I don't want to keep you on too long if you're busy, but I know one of the guys on the chat earlier, brought up the Alabama game, and he was like, "Yeah, look at our linebacking core and look at theirs. It's not looking good right now." And he's right. I'm not going to lie, but I said, you know what? Upsets happen.
Yeah.
You never know. It's why you play the game. It's why I'm going to tune in and watch. What would they have to do to pull off what would be an amazing upset, but possible? What do you think they would have to do?
Look, this is the perfect time to play Alabama, if you ask me, right? Especially on the offensive side. I know that they reload, but listen, you lost first round wide receiver, 2 first round wide receivers. You lost your running back, first round running back. You lost first round offensive line. A few guys on the offensive line. You lost a whole bunch of guys. You lost your quarterback, who's in the Heisman race. I mean, you lost all those guys. Now's the time to kind of catch them. They're vulnerable. They may be vulnerable. I mean, they're always going to be well coached, and they're still going to be talented. Now's the time to catch them. So what's going to happen? What's going to have to happen? Miami's going to have to play the best game of the season, right? They're going to have to play perfect. They're going to have to execute. As a matter of fact, forget about playing perfect, right? You got to execute. And the other team has to make some mistakes. And if you can catch them slipping and have them make some mistakes and capitalize on those mistakes, that's what it's about in college football, man, is momentum. And if you can take that momentum away from a team, especially a young team on the offensive side, they're still loaded on defense. But if you can kind of catch them sleeping and make some plays and create some turnovers and capitalize on those turnovers, and have De'Aaron King playing. I forgot to mention that one. As long as he's under center, I think you've got a shot. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take execution. It's going to take Alabama making a mistake or two, and you capitalizing on it. And listen, all you got to do is beat them by 1 point. That's it. I don't care how how it happens. It could be 6-5 for all I care. If you beat them, then now you're rolling, and now college football is a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I agree. College football is more fun when the U is good.
Yeah, hands down.
I don't care what anyone says. And I'm glad you brought up the, forget playing perfect. You just got to execute, meaning, catch the ball when it hits you in the hands, make the tackle when the dude's in front of you. There's no such, in my opinion, especially football, when there's so many guys on the field, there's no such thing as playing a perfect game. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I agree. You
just got to not line up off sides if we stop them on fourth down. That would be great.
Absolutely. And not create a pass interference when you get an interception. So, it's those little things. And Orlando Kane makes a great point. You got to punch them in the mouth early. Knock them off their toes early. And yeah, you definitely have a shot. Definitely.
Yeah, man. The one thing I would say that we have to do is establish some kind of a running game. I think if we're moving the chains on third and short or whatever, and we just keep drives going, and we got to keep Alabama's defense on the field, I think we have a chance. But if we've got like 6 rushing yards at halftime, we're screwed.
Yeah, it's not going to happen without a running game. But do we have the talent at running back? Yeah, absolutely. So I think that, if we can get that going, then everything else opens up. It's so cliche to say, but it's the truth, right?
It's true. It's like a jab in boxing. Yeah. It sets up everything else. Great input, Jazz. Jazz, what recruit do you expect for the Canes to sign? He's probably thinking, who do you expect to sign next? So that's a good question. Who do you think is the next commit?
Well, I think that it's going to be, man. I'm going to throw it out there, and I'm going to say that the next guy that we're going to get, it's obviously going to come after or during Paradise Camp. I'm just going to throw it out there and make everybody happy, and I think everybody will be excited if we get Wesley Basaint to commit this weekend at Paradise Camp. Huh? Yeah. How would that be? That'd be awesome, right?
That would sit very well with me because I'm hearing both, that he wants to commit soon, and I'm hearing, he's going to wait till the end. I don't think he's going to wait till the end. I think he commits.
I think if it all goes right and he's just wowed this weekend at Paradise Camp, I think that he pulls the trigger. I definitely do.
I think so. I think we're the team to beat for him, honestly.
Yeah, yes. I'm with you there. Who's another kid that I really want to see, and I want to get your take on this kid, John. Is a guy that I look at him and I say, this is the kind of player that Miami needs to be competing with the big boys of the Alabamas of the world, just based off of his sheer size and strength, and just looking at him, he's a man. It's Mark Fletcher, the running back out of American Heritage. 6'2", 6'3", 230 pounds.
2023 kid, right?
He's a 2023 kid, but this kid is, if he's not the number one running back in the country for 2023 soon, he will be by the end of the year. I mean, I think that's the kind of kid that you talk about. Najee Harris, you talk about Derrick Henry, you talk about those guys, that he's in that mold, right? He's in the mold of those guys, a big, strong running back who can break a tackle, who can wear you down, who can kind of impose his will and just break your soul as a running back. And that's what you want to see. You want to see those kind of, and I'm not saying that Don Chaney and Rooster and Cam aren't top-notch running back, even D Brown and those guys. But if you get a kid like Mark Fletcher at 6'2", 230 pounds, running the ball in the fourth quarter, in a tight game, and he's just running it and destroying your defensive line and just knocking people over. I mean, he's going to break the will of that defense, and that's what Alabama does. If you notice, they kind of wear you out. I mean, they're usually up by 40 points, but even then, you give the ball to Najee Harris, he breaks a tackle, he runs somebody over, and it's over. You know what I mean? I love that kid. I want to see Mark Fletcher in a Canes uniform.
Dude, because I'm picturing that running back room in my head, because that would be 2 years from now. So right. Chaney, he'll be a junior that year. So imagine Chaney, Thad Franklin.
I forgot Franklin. Yeah, that's right. Thad Franklin also.
Imagine that trio.
That's scary. That is scary. But that's what you want. That's the way you beat you. Someone mentioned it. I forgot who mentioned it earlier. You beat people. You beat people even before you start to play, right?
Mhm.
You come out to practice. You come out to stretch, and the minute you come out to stretch, and that other team sees the guys that you have on your on the field, right then and there, you're up 10-0. You're up 17-0 already, and that's what you need to get back to.
Yeah. Oh, that was every game in the Orange Bowl was like that. You knew you already had the upper hand at the coin toss.
Absolutely. When you saw Ed Reed and Sean Taylor and all these guys opposite of you, and Vince Wilfork, how can you not kind of get a little freaked out about it and say, all right, we're done. That's what you want.
Yeah, man. Hope Manny and Feely and the boys in them weight room. Yeah, can you imagine? Get those guys on board and then get them in Feely's weight room.
That's what it is. He makes sense. It's match the physicality, because that's how a lot of these SEC teams beat you, man. They're more physical, they're stronger than you, and they're stronger at the positions that matter, like defensive line and offensive line and running back, and they're bigger than you. And at the end of the day, you may be beating them for some time, but they're going to wear you out, and that's where they kind of take over 100%.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, man, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I know you're a busy guy, so thank you very much for coming on. Anything else you want to add before you head out of here?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm excited to come on. Thanks, man. Hopefully we do this again, and whenever you want, come on the show. It's 7:30 on Thursday night, so we'll be on tomorrow on the YouTube network as well, and you can always catch me there and follow me on Twitter at 6ringsCanes. So. Again, man, thanks a lot. Oh, and be on the lookout for any updates, Paradise Camp as well this weekend.
Absolutely, man. So you heard it. Follow him. It's right there on the screen at 6ringsCanes, and 7:30 tomorrow. Like, you do it every Thursday, right? 7:30.
Yeah, just about every Thursday. Yeah.
Okay, on 5 Reasons Sports. So find him there. Yeah, man. I would love to come on one day. That'd be cool. And whenever you want to come on here, man, the door's open to you.
Appreciate it, my brother. Thank you so much, man.
All right, man. Take care, man. Have a good one.
Take it easy.
All right, so that was Jazz Santana. Good guy, man. I only had a chance to meet him one other time, but I knew, he and I would see eye to eye on a lot of things, so I had to have him on. But yeah, man. Randy, I wanted to address this. Yes, seems Chaney is glass. Chaney is our best, I think, our most talented back, but yeah, he does have a bit of the injury bug. And I'm not going to lie, it is concerning. I think he will be back and ready for the Alabama game. There's too much time between now and then. I know he had to have a procedure done on his shoulder, I think it was. I want to say it was his shoulder, and he's had issues with that before. He's a tough kid, though. I think he'll try to push through it. A healthy Chaney on the field is scary. But even if not, after him, you got Thad Franklin, Cody Brown, Jalen Knighton, and Cam Harris. You got 4 guys that are all 4-star recruits behind a better O-line. I like our chances. Thanks, John Great. No problem. What about USC D tackle? Are you referring not Bear Alexander? No, there was one in the transfer portal. Refresh my memory. What's his name again? I know who you're talking about. I think I know who you're talking about, and I haven't heard anything new from him. Let's see. I think we got to go full spread on. We can't line up man to man. I believe, you're talking about the Alabama game, correct? I think we're going to have to mix it up a lot. We're going to have to hit them up the middle. We're going to have to hit them on the edges. We're going to have to use our speed as much as possible, because let's be honest, they're going to be prepared. They have a lot of older guys in that defense. We got to be prepared to possibly play a low-scoring game against Alabama, which is fine. I'm very cool with that. But, I think we're going to have to mix it up a lot of fakes, maybe some reverses, some jet sweeps, a little play action down the field. We're going to have to do a little bit of everything. They're going to see the whole playbook. No more of this like last year. They're only going to see a little bit to not show our hand for when we play FSU or Clemson or whatever. Nah, man. If Coach Lashley's offense is as great as we believe it is, we should be able to show it. We should be able to show that playbook, and it shouldn't matter. He's been committed to UCLA for weeks. That would be why I haven't heard anything. He probably just committed right after we heard about him. I thought Cody would be redshirting. Is Cody redshirting? I don't remember. That was the dude's name. Yes, he committed to UCLA. Yes, it's coming back to me. Is Cody redshirting? That's a good question. I haven't heard anything about him redshirting. I wouldn't if I was him, because if he redshirts and let's say Chaney's not available the first couple of games of the season, or maybe he gets nicked up later in the season, you're down to 3 backs again, which was a problem last year. 3 backs is not going to cut it. 4, you're okay. 5, that's great depth. You're okay if there's an injury. Hope Lashley is watching Ole Miss versus Bama highlights. You know what? It wasn't just Ole Miss. A couple teams put up points on him. Ole Miss, Florida. I think there was another team that put up a lot of points on him, if I remember correctly. Like their defense just kind of played good enough, and their offense was just otherworldly. It's a must that Avante Williams, James Williams, Leonard Taylor, another freshman play on the big stage, not just Duke, Louisville, etc. I believe you will see them. They may not be in the starting lineup, but the 2 Williamses, Leonard Taylor and Chase Smith, I believe they will all see the field at some point against Bama. I don't think Manny is going to be afraid to plug them in. How many snaps are they going to get? That's different. That's a whole different story. Wait, Max is responding to that Cody Brown question. It's a wait and see thing if you play 5 or more games. Yeah, I with the new red shirt rule, I think that's how a lot of guys are playing it, because you can play up to any 4 games on the schedule. It's not just the first 4. You can play any 4 games you want and can still take a red shirt that year. It won't count against your eligibility. Any good linebackers in the portal now? I'm sure there are. I haven't been doing a lot of research on it lately. I just know the guys that were there, like the Vanderbilt kid was really good. I really liked him. The Texas kid, Jawan Mitchell, I think was his name. I liked both of them, but it's got to be a good situation where he wants to stick around for a couple of years. It's got to be like the perfect fit for Manny, but I do think he will grab somebody if somebody pops up. Like Jazz said, it may not be this year, but I mean, if you bring in Tolan, Wesley, and Jackson, I'm good if you don't take a linebacker in the portal. It may hurt us a little bit now, but by next year, we should be all right and moving forward. I like that side scroll. The interns earning their keep on the show. Let's see. It's good. Let's see. Hope Wesley breaks a spear in half on signing day. Yeah, after Marvin, I think someone in the chat asked about that, and I didn't get to it. Sorry about that. Yeah, Marvin Jones Jr. threw little upside down U when he was taking his pictures at FSU. Whatever. We've beaten them 4 years in a row, and it's about to be 5. Devin Jackson's tape reminds me of Zach McCloud's high school tape. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because Zach McCloud was quite the athlete in high school, but I don't think he was a 4-star recruit. I think he was a 3. Devin Jackson is every bit of that 4-star grade. I love his athleticism. I heard Cody is not redshirting. Yeah, I don't think it would make sense for him to, at least not this early. I think he should wait and see how the season goes. And if Don Chaney is not relinquishing that starting job and there's guys in front of him, okay, maybe, but you're the 5th guy at a position where guys get hurt a lot. So I don't think he needs to. Who next recruits to commit to Miami? We were talking about this earlier. Some people think Devin Jackson. Let's see. Where was it? I'm thinking Devin Jackson. It was Kyle that said it. Jazz said Wesley. That was his prediction. I would love that. But I would love Devin Jackson too. Any linebacker. If we get a linebacker, I'd be ecstatic. But who I think it's going to be, King David, I think it's going to be a lineman, an offensive lineman, or another corner, another DB. Please, everyone, no number 53 talk for a minute on this show. That's funny. Yeah, Zach's first year, if you guys remember, people forget, he did show some nice flashes as a freshman. He was a little behind Shaq and Pinckney as far as picking up the playbook and things like that, but watch the bowl game against West Virginia. Zach McLeod played pretty well in that game. He had a couple tackles for loss where he just anticipated the play perfectly and buried the running back. There was one play where we were down 7-0. It was early. It was right before Amon Richards' long touchdown. He jumps a bubble screen, and it hit him right in the hand. Like, he jumped up, he jumped the bubble screen, jumped up to get the ball, and it hit him right in the hands. I think he got excited because he knew he was going to score if he caught it, but read the play perfectly. Yeah, he showed some nice flashes his freshman year, but for whatever reason did not develop. You know, it happens. 48-45, let's get Lane Kiffin's playbook. 48-45. I don't care if it's 6-3, and I'll take any victory over that team. 48-40. Could we put 48 on Bama? I think we're going to have to put at least 40 on them if we want any chance of winning. At least 40. If you score 35, I don't think that's going to cut it. And it's got to be long, sustained drives too. I think if you get into a situation where you score too quickly, that might get you in trouble, because then you're running your tired defense back out there. Anything else you heard about the Quan Lee deal? We were talking about that earlier, Bobby. There's nothing's been done yet, whether he's been let go from the class or if he's decommitted. But we'll see. I think this is what I think is happening right now. The coaches are in talks with him and trying to get an idea of where he's at. Is he really fully committed to Miami? You know, why are you taking these visits? It's cool if you take these visits, but just know your spot is not going to be held down for very long if you keep taking visits. It's just, you know, I think they're being very upfront with that. You know, it's, if you're fully committed, your spot's locked down. If you're not, you know, we'll hold your place for a little bit, but if you're not fully committed, we're not fully committed. And I think that's fair. Marvin Jones Jr. going to get knocked out. His father didn't get knocked out very much, not at the college level. He was 0-3 versus the U, but my God, Marvin Jones Sr., dude was a monster. Maybe not, he maybe didn't show it against the Canes much, but he was a monster. He was that dude. Legend. He almost intercepted a screen pass. Yep. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, he jumped the route on a screen pass, hit him right in the hands. I think he just got excited. It was a freshman that got excited that the ball hit him right in the hands, but read it perfectly. Do you think we have too many safeties right now? No, I don't think so. I do think somebody transfers. Then that would be yes. Let me change my answer. I think we have a very loaded room, and it wouldn't be the worst idea if one of those young men decides to take his talents elsewhere if he thinks he can play elsewhere, because we're very loaded talent-wise. And one of those guys at the bottom of the depth chart, none of them are bad. I don't think we have any bad safeties. I think they can all play. It's just there's going to be one guy that's like the odd man out, and he may transfer. So, hey, Joe, are you giddy about Ivy yet? I see it as, Barrios 2.0. Yes, Brad does love him. Absolutely. John, don't be fooled by 5 stars. They still have to tackle. Bama's defense has sucked against mobile QBs and aggressive OCs. That's a good point. I think we'll end on that note. Yeah, again, like I said, we got to mix it up against Bama, and I think aggressive OC, I think you hit it on the head. You gotta be creative. You gotta throw some wrinkles in there. I think Rhett Lashley has been planning those first couple of drives. He's been scripting them out probably since last season ended. And first drive against Florida in 2019, look how well it went. I mean, we just marched right down the field. And if Jaron Williams had seen Jeff Thomas get butt naked wide open in the end zone on one of those plays, we would have scored. It would have been like a 4-play drive and we would have scored just like that. But we got a field goal, and it was a thing of beauty, that first drive. So I think don't be shocked if those first couple of scripted drives against Alabama, we put a few points on the board. Don't be shocked. All right, so we just hit an hour. 63 people on the chat. Thank you guys so much. Always appreciated. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps us continue to grow. Getting closer and closer to that 1,000. It's been a big goal of mine for a while. You are dead on, John. Hope Lashley is listening. I hope he's listening too. I know that the coaches listen to our shows more than you think. Believe me. John, how's the golf game? Flo wants to do next at the Baltimore golf course. He has a great Barkley swing. I could take Barkley. Nice. Flo, we got to golf again soon, man. Max, let's sneak this one in really quick. Brad and Chris got the Larry Bluestein of Louisiana on today with Jordan Allen. Yes. Do tune in to Canes Insight tonight. That will be at 9 p.m. Eastern, so 58 minutes from now. Tune in. Should be a great show. As for now, I'm going to go chill, get something to eat, and I'll be tuning into that as well. Thank you guys. As always, great show. Great stuff in the chat. As always, guys, it's all about that you. Go Canes. Have a good night.